Thanks for joining us. This is our extended interview with Brian the Mac Man, the Chief Mac Man at SellYourMac.com. While Brian can talk a lot about Apple products, our discussion is around branding and personal branding. The first part of this video is from our GNGF Live, which happens every other Wednesday over on our Facebook page. The second part here, in this bonus extended interview, we dive into how Brian the Mac Man has been using LinkedIn and his personal brand to grow his business. If you already saw the live over on Facebook, I'll put the timestamp to the exclusive extended interview below. So be sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel so you can also follow along with our great conversations on legal marketing and the business side of running a law firm. Welcome to GNGF Live, your bi-weekly Ask the Experts about all things law firm marketing and business growth. I'm Mark Homer, author of Online Law Practice Strategies and founder of Get Noticed, Get Found. On this show, we focus on the business side of growing and running your law firm. And sometimes, to focus on growing your law firm, we like to bring in people from other industries who are doing some great marketing things that we think law firm owners can leverage. So I'm really excited to have today's guest, Brian the Mac Man Burke, founder and chief Mac Man of SellYourMac.com. SellYourMac.com is the world's most trusted and highest independently rated Apple trade-in company. But it is Brian's focus on his unique value proposition and strong branding that have also led to high growth and him being featured in USA Today, NBC News, Macworld, ABC, and more. So I know you're going to get a lot of this discussion around branding, personal branding, and leveraging LinkedIn that you can take home and apply to your law firm. And as always, be sure to like and subscribe to our page, not just the video, so you can get updated when our next episode goes live. Of course, it never hurts if you show just a little love and hit that like button on the video too. It really does help us a lot with the algorithms. We've got moderators in the chat, so please ask questions and interact during this premiere. And if you're watching this in the future, after the premiere, we do monitor the comments and we will reach out to our guests and answer any follow-up questions you have. That's because we love you all and we love getting to meet you online, and I'm excited to say we'll be in person again soon. So you can find a list of our upcoming webinars, CLEs, and all of our other events where we're going to be speaking over on our website at gngf.com/events. We have an extensive library of videos, including extended interviews, as well as our in-depth GNGF tip series, where we dive into specific topics over on our YouTube channel. You can watch those videos, well, after this interview, of course, over at the link in the chat. All right, let's get to the interview. Brian the Mac Man, thanks for joining me today, man.
Hey, awesome to be here, Mark. Excited to have a chat with you and share it with your audience.
Awesome. So before we dive into all the kind of questions I have, just give us a little background. Like, how did you actually get started? Because I went to your website and it talked about a little bit of your background, but didn't talk about you personally. Like, how did you get started buying and selling Macs? I mean, where does somebody come up with that idea?
We could go back a long way. I've been an entrepreneur at heart since I've been a little kid. By the age of 10, I was already on the streets doing sidewalk sales of jewelry and fun knickknacks and stuff like that. And then in high school, I started getting into more arbitrage sales, buying and selling car parts, mainly Audi parts, because I was passionate about Audis at the time. And then in college, I found a good niche of buying and selling phones. A lot of my friends would upgrade their phones. They didn't know what to do with them. They didn't want to hassle with it. So I took the hassle on myself, and I would sell these on eBay, and I either give them a percentage of it or just buy them outright. So I really cut my chops on eBay on cell phones. And when I graduated college, it was a really weird time in '06. And I tried to get a big finance job in New York City. It didn't work out right away. So I came home and just really turned it into an eBay company. And one of the first deals I had, I bought like 75 phones from someone, and I flipped those in a couple weeks and made a few $1,000s. And that was really eye-opening that I could start buying these in bulk and turning it into a real business, even though my parents were still pushing me at the time to go get a real job. So I had to show them in the world that I could make this happen. And I had the drive to work really long hours at the time, and I was young and full of energy, still full of energy. So I did the cell phone thing for a few years, and my passion really lied with Apple. So when Apple came out with the phone, it was a really incremental time for them, that they had a product that just launched. No one understood how good the iPhone would be. I saw that as a good time to pivot and focus on Apple. So yeah, I started buying a ton of Apple products, mainly on eBay at the time, and it wasn't sustainable because the best deals were running in the middle of the night and I couldn't sleep. So that's when I created my inbound sales channel of SellYourMac.com, which is the website people go to today to trade in their Apple goods. So that's how I really launched my Apple career.
So you created the sellyourmac.com just to solve the problem of getting more inventory to sell on eBay at the time.
Exactly. I knew I needed an inbound sales channel.
Yeah.
You could hire more people to search for these deals, but I wanted to make it a frictionless way people could trade in their products. We say we make it fast, safe, and easy, which is exactly what we're doing compared to someone selling themselves on, eBay or Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace and stuff like that.
Yeah, I love it. And the amount of entrepreneurs I've talked to that all have a story like that of like, I think I sold now and laters in my high school, like buying them in bulk and then selling them for money, and got in trouble because apparently you're not supposed to do that. I sold computers in college. We've all got those, like, just it's.
If you're not getting in trouble, you're not really an entrepreneur. You got to break all the rules.
So you've been running, this for a while, since like 2006ish, you said, right? So at what point, because one thing I mentioned in the intro is, like, I think your brand and focusing on branding has been a really strong point in the growth of your business. Look at that, even in your mug. So
always branded,
when did you really start focusing and thinking about branding and really knowing or even formulating what your brand message was?
I'd say initially I was really focused on customer service. So my branding was more being the best I could for my customers, which shows up on every single sales channel we have. We're 100% rated on eBay at almost 40,000 reviews, which is pretty much unheard of. And so that my brand was really about doing the right thing for the customer every time. And that helped me build the business. It wasn't as much about the logo itself. But I did realize that the mark and the branding was important. And in 2009, our old brand mark had Mac as part of the logo, and you can't do that. So we had to pivot. So now we're SYM with a smile. And I really want people to have that really happy feeling when they use our service. And that's part of the experience that they leave every customer delighted. And from there, I think I've always focused on the colors has been the biggest thing. That blue color that I show up in every day, and the white, that has been kind of the go-to branding color. But only in the last few years, I would say I've kind of focused more on the personal branding and the branding of the business itself. And before that, it was almost just more, natural and organic. I wasn't spending a ton of money on marketing. We don't have anyone actually in charge of marketing besides myself. So, I can't put out as many marketing messages as I would like, but when I do, they always are branded.
Got it. And from a branding perspective, so you got your actual, look and feel, like the logo, the colors and everything. But you've got a really strong, specific message of here's what we want to be to customers, right? You talked about, fast and frictionless and great experience and stuff. I mean, I think it's on your website a couple of places, like this is how we will show up. Like, when did that kind of get solidified? Because I think it's really important to have your whole team driving that way, right?
Yeah. And I would say that has been our message, pretty much since the start. So we have stuck with that, fast, safe, and easy. And that's how we make a lot of our decisions. We're not going to upgrade our website unless it's going to be easier and faster. And we're always finding new tools to do that. Just over a year ago, we added our serial number quote tool. So if you're on the website, you pop your serial number in, it gives you an instant quote. And that's made it a lot easier for the customer. And, just recently, we added some more like steps on the side of our quote form, and just some more coloring on there to clue people in, when they're on each step and stuff like that. So, trying to stay on brand by being fast, safe, and easy whatever we do. And I think that has helped a lot over time.
Yeah, I mean, and that's interesting, right? Because you're saying, you're not just saying like, hey, these aren't just marketing messages. Right? You're making business decisions operationally, customers, and every step of the way based on just these core principles.
You got to live your brand.
Right. And I think that what's interesting is like that's so obvious to you, but I think for a lot of people that like tying that together, that the expectation of what the consumers are going to see or clients or prospects are going to see about me is so tied to how I'm running my day-to-day business has to match 100%, right?
It does.
Because if somebody like saw the flashy
I can't
blue,
be using Samsung. Who would trust me as the Mac man?
Right. Well, exactly, right. They saw the flashy blue. You talked about, fast, safe, and easy, and then, your site's not protected or something, right? Like something, oh, yeah, you could save $1, but we did, right? So, but those kind of messages, right? So making those decisions along the way. So that has you talked about like it's been kind of similar, like the fast, safe, easy. Have you evolved anything into over the over your past 4 or 5 6 years? 'Cause I know you had some rapid growth. Has any evolution in your brand, your thinking, or the way you approach your unique value proposition to customers?
I would say it's more internal changing and not as much externally focused. Internally, we're always trying to be the most trusted company when someone thinks about buying, selling their Apple products. But I'm not putting that message out there, quite as much. I do post different like feedbacks and stuff like that from customers that showcase the trust that we've built with them. But I'm not necessarily screaming that at the rooftops. I kind of want people to almost like find out about it, on their own by looking at our different proof sources. Whether they're looking at our, Google reviews or reseller ratings or our BBBA plus, and stuff like that.
Yep. Which I mean, I guess that directly ties back to your kind of safe as well, right? So like that trustworthy and safe. Um, so
everyone thinks they're going to get scammed online, so you got to show them why they're not going to be.
Oh, I mean, it's crazy, right? Yeah. So I mean, in your marketplace, that is a very common thing. So I think that you have a higher bar to overcome. So probably that messaging is that much more important. And I want to come back to consistency of the messaging, right? Anybody can go out there and wear a blue suit one day or in a blue bow tie, right? But I'm not kidding.
Every day.
I've run into this guy at a restaurant before, and he's wearing his full blue. So I mean, like you take it seriously, right?
I do. Yeah. So every call I've had today, I wore this suit just to get in the right mindset to be on this live with you. And it really is, just living that brand. I got blue shoes, blue socks, and blue underwear. It's all blue. And that comes out, in my personality.
Absolutely. And I think it's not just, like running into you in town or seeing you speak and wearing your blue and stuff, but you're so consistent in your messaging online, in addition to the offline, right? Like, I mean, I was looking down some of your websites, all your online brands. So I'm just going to read some here. So your website, sellyourmac.com, Facebook.com/sellyourmac, Instagram/sellyourmac, YouTube/sellyourmac, LinkedIn/sellyourmac. And then you have a Twitter handle. You have a hashtag that like people literally use for, your consumers are using hashtag #sellyourmac. I mean, that is branding your company, right? And then this is where I wanted to kind of pivot a little bit here. I feel like since I've known you, I don't know when kind of like the really focus on the personal brand is kind of like lifted up as well. So it's not just, Sell Your Mac, but now it's Brian the Mac Man too, right? So I think, you answered the phone the other day, Brian the Mac Man, what's up, man? And it was like the actual fact that now you have an Instagram with Brian the Mac Man.
People remember it now.
Yeah, your LinkedIn is Brian the Mac Man, right? And again, you have a hashtag out there, hashtag Brian the Mac Man, and you throw it on stories and stuff. And I think that it's very interesting. Like, did you read something? Like, what was the aha moment to kind of say, I'm going to go all in, obviously on my company branding, but I'm going to do a personal brand that kind of interlinks these, right? That you didn't say I want my personal life separate. You said I want my personal brand and my company brand to really be tight.
I mean, I think it's, obviously I'm leading the company from the marketing branding perspective, so it was a natural fit for me to take that on. I'm also very comfortable being open, expressing myself and including my family and stuff in my posts. And I do think that personal branding is one of the keys to growing a business. People want to connect with the brand, the humans behind the brand, not just the brand itself. And if you look at companies on LinkedIn, for instance, it's so hard to go viral as a company versus a person has a much bigger chance of getting a lot of reach and a lot of views. So I knew that I had to be that personal brand, and it can help the company, it can help me personally, it can help the next business I launch. I help promote others now. So I really kind of saw what it could be in the future, and I went all in. And it takes posting every single day consistently to build that personal brand and showing up the same way. When you see me in a video, 95% of the time I'm in a blue suit. And if I don't wear blue, people ask me why. Why are you in green, Brian? So it's kind of funny that, one of my suggestions as people are looking at building a personal brand is pick a color and show up in it. Have a style that people expect. And it really stands out on the feed when they see this, image with bright blue in the background, I'll just take out the image I want, delete the background, and change it to blue, and I show up as my. It can be any image, but it's always connected with my personal brand, just with that color. I don't have to use the hashtag for it. So that was one of my personal tips on how to consistently get out there with the personal branding.
So was there like I'm just curious, like, kind of what was the aha moment that you decided I'm going to go all in on the personal brand? Because like I said, I feel like, I knew Sell Your Mac and I knew you were associated with Sell Your Mac in terms of like you owned it and you were like the, running and stuff. But this, Brian the Mac Man brand, personal brand, over the last few years, like, I mean, obviously, I see it all the time now, but what did you, I was just curious, like, where did the idea come? Because like,
all right, there was one moment that did kind of kick off the blue suit, and I owe it to Tim Reddick. He is the
he's a mutual friend
man.
of ours. That's right. Yeah.
He has the orange suit, and we're in the blue and orange together. It looks like we're Dumb and Dumber, so it's pretty funny. But he was presenting at an EO breakfast one day, and I was talking about his orange suit, and he goes, "Brian, you need the blue version. I'll send you the link." So, later that night, I ordered my blue suit, and the first conference I wore it to, I could not believe the feedback I got. And that was kind of my inspiration to always wearing the blue suit, not necessarily the Mac Man, but people just came up wanting to talk to me about my suit, and like, it just was a conversation starter. So I knew if I showed up that way that I would just get way more attention, and I never shied away from attention. When you're doing marketing and branding, you need to have people's eyeballs, so you have to be different. So this was kind of my way to be a little bit different. While also, being comfortable in my own skin. And I think from a perspective of, why I did focus on Brian the Mac Man, I saw potential to help out not only my company, but also the future businesses I want to start. And the entrepreneur in me, knew I needed a platform to get those ideas out there. So the same way that, like a Gary Vee, for instance, he's got, one of the biggest followings of social media in the world. He can like launch a book and, sell out the first day, I'm sure, just because his audience is so engaged. You don't have to sell the whole time. You just have to build a brand behind it. So, 95% of my posts are nothing to do with selling. But when I do need to sell something, my audience will be there. That's what I'm excited about for the future.
That's interesting. I mean, just taking that analogy there of Gary Vee, I mean, the amount of people that even know what company he initially was trying to build, and as he kind of became a personality in social media and successful in social media, like he did it because of a company, right? His parents wine company. I mean,
wine library.
Nobody knows that name. They just know Gary Vee, right?
No one knows about it.
Yeah. So I mean, like that's true. Like you could usurp your Sell Your Mac brand with your personal brand and take it in a different direction. Yep. I like that. That's an interesting idea. So
you can keep Sell Your Mac going, and I can be Brian the Mac Man launching new businesses.
There you go. When did like when was the moment? Between 2000, when you said 9, when you kind of really dove into your brand there. Between 2009 and today, when was the moment where you're like, okay, I've been putting a lot of time and energy into, the messaging and the consistency and the colors and all this kind of stuff. And it paid off big. Like I can directly attribute this to that kind of work and branding, because it takes time. Like you said, consistency and showing up every day.
Yep. I would say one of those big moments, it was about 3 years ago now. I made a post about having 6,500 iPads, and I sold them off of my LinkedIn post.
Off a LinkedIn
post. It
was
a literal $1 million sale, and the company that bought them, I didn't know about them at the time. They literally found me on the post, and now we partner with them on tons of deals, and we built up a lot of trust. They send us Mac products every single month. So just by putting that message out there, I had no idea if that would actually make a sale. And a lot of times I could post, hey, I have all this bulk inventory, and it doesn't sell that way. But this time it really worked, and that kind of showed me that LinkedIn can be a platform for social selling, and I've really dialed in now how to do more of that. One of the recommendations I have is that people sell below the fold after you click see more. So have a really insightful, engaging message, possibly starting off with a question, and don't sell in that first 1-2 sentences. Sell below that after someone wants to learn more about it and it becomes way less salesy, and people will truly engage with your content more. And even if that person is not the right buyer, you're gonna, just by engaging, they're gonna bring more people to it, and hopefully you can find the buyer through that.
So, I mean, and you've been doing a lot on LinkedIn lately. I mean, I see you everywhere, and you've been having some success.
Only twice a day.
But you're having success with it, right? And so I do want to, I have a bunch of questions I wanted to follow up with you on LinkedIn. But so that kind of moment of okay, we were consistent with our messaging. I did something, and a big sale happened. Was that on your on you, Brian the Mac Man, or was that on
all
post
personal?
All personal too. So that's fascinating.
Yeah.
So
I make all my deals in my personal, honestly.
So I'm gonna have to leave because I wanted to ask follow up on that LinkedIn stuff, but our we're running a little long here on for to get going our Facebook audience here, so we only set aside about 20 minutes for that. So I'm gonna kind of pause this, wrap up the Facebook Live, but if you stick with me, I really want to get to these LinkedIn questions I have. And
awesome. I will hang out and drop all my LinkedIn knowledge to the rest of your viewers doing the full interview.
Awesome, and we'll throw that over to our YouTube on Friday, and there's gonna be some gold there. I know. So bear with me, Brian. Oh, before I go though, for the Facebook audience, where can people connect with you online? Where's the best place to connect with you? Where should they be following you? And
the best place is LinkedIn. So if you go to linkedin.com/in/Brian the Mac Man, that'll drop you right on my profile, and you can follow and connect with me there.
Awesome. So, Brian the Mac Man on LinkedIn.
Hard to miss me. I'm in a blue bow tie.
Well, thanks for joining us today, everyone. Be sure to like and subscribe to our Facebook page so you get notified when our next episode goes live. We have new interviews about law firm marketing and the business side of running your firm here every other Wednesday. We're going to keep going here in the GNGF studio so you can watch the full extended interview with Brian the Mac Man this Friday over on our YouTube channel. We'll be diving in a lot more detail about how Brian has been using LinkedIn and his personal brand to grow his business. We'll see you then. All right, Brian the Mac Man, thanks for sticking with me.
Woo! Always ready to rock and roll. I want to give more gold to your audience.
So LinkedIn, this is the area that, and I think a lot of law firms and lawyers, because that's our audience is mostly law firm owners and stuff. They tend, obviously a lot of Facebook and Twitter. I don't see a lot of people on LinkedIn, and so I wanted to kind of
missing out.
Right. I wanted to bring you on. I wanted to talk about the personal branding and stuff, but also to be able to show somebody from outside, legal, that here's how somebody's using LinkedIn, and then maybe people can take bits and pieces of that to kind of say, oh, that would work for my firm, right? So just broad question, right? So and you dropped a couple things along the way, but in general, have you been using LinkedIn lately to grow your business?
Posting consistently. You have to be posting literally every day to make the algorithm, happy, and to showcase your content to others, and also to keep your audience engaged. It's not that you can't take a day off, or anything like that, but if you're not consistent in general, it's not going to work. And it takes years of being consistent. I've posted every day for over 2 years now. And just in the last couple of months, I'm literally seeing hockey stick growth. So I made a post a week ago that had 380,000 views. And my highest before that was 80,000. So, you can really hit exponential growth on this platform. But if you're not doing it every day and, being mindful of your audience, you're never going to get there. So you have to cater to the audience. And I think a lot of people are trying to sell too hard. And if you're starting off a post by trying to sell to someone, they're going to move on so fast because they just don't care. And people need to understand that in general, no one cares about you on social media. It's not Facebook where your friends and your mom are liking your pictures. This is LinkedIn. If you're not giving them real value or a mental vacation looking at your content, they're not interested anymore. So that's something that I'm very cognizant of, and I didn't even learn that until close to the end of last year, and I've kind of pivoted my content accordingly to try to be more audience focused and speaking with them as opposed to speaking at them. That's been big for me.
Yeah, it's interesting because I've actually noticed that, and I'm trying to think thinking about it for a law firm owner or lawyer out there. So I've seen you post things about, you saw your Mac, right? So you're talking about, you're inserting yourself in conversations about new Apple products or releases, or like things going on,
Yeah.
issues, like news stories that involve an Apple, right? Like you're posting stuff in there, kind of saying,
Sure.
hey, here, if you're interested in this stuff, you're probably a possible client of mine, right? So,
Yep.
so those are the type of things people could be thinking about, right? What are things that a prospective client is going to be interested in, and just talk about that with them, right?
It sounds like you're talking about too engaging on people's posts. If you search for content related to your industry, that's a great place to start engaging. And you need to engage before and after you post so that LinkedIn knows there's a real human there, not just a random bot throwing a post up and leaving. It's very hard to get good engagement if you're not also engaging with others. That's something a lot of people are missing the mark on. So I'd say start there. And once you build up people engaging back with you, then your content has a much greater chance of going viral.
So find things that people are talking about that, let's say you're a local law firm.
So
right?
for the law firms, they could literally, in the search bar, search for, legal issues or something like that. And, probably finding a lot of stuff that they could, leave insightful comments on. And by doing that, people will see you on there and then click to learn more about you, and then hopefully engage with your content if you're also posting something, that has value and is engaging. And, one of the biggest things that people need to do is to change their headline, because that's what people actually see when you're commenting. You only have 4 or 5 words on there that someone's going to read to decide whether they want to click on you to learn more or not, or to follow you later. So my headline starts off with, I've bought $43 million of Apple products. And that really stands out. It's intriguing. People don't know whether I bought it personally or for a business. But a lot of people are getting, getting 500 plus profile views a day, people just clicking to learn more about me. And it's because I leave a lot of comments. I probably spend an hour just engaging with other people's content on LinkedIn. And you have to put in that time and effort, or you're not going to get people to, come engage with you back.
So, like engaging in content, sharing content, right? So finding things that other people are already talking about and sharing and talking about that, right?
Sharing doesn't really work.
Sharing's not going to do anything for me.
It's an ego boost to the content creator. If you share my content, I'm like, oh, Mark shared my content, that's awesome. But I could have a post that, let's say, got 200 likes. You could share it and get 5 or 2. And it's just the algorithm doesn't really like sharing. So like if you're posting information from your company, for instance, I highly recommend doing it organically. Just grab that image and copy and paste the text. Maybe make the copy a little bit more your own. But posting organically will get about 10 times the views and engagement that you would otherwise from a share.
So engaging on other people's posts, not sharing them, adding your own
Correct.
unique posts, and then hoping that because you've built up the engagement, people will be engaging on your stuff, right?
Yes.
What are some of the other top tips for those looking to leverage LinkedIn for their business? And again, like our audience is law firms and lawyers, so I mean, a specific question around that in a second, but like what are some other top tips that I mean? And
first of all, I offer a
success.
LinkedIn masterclass now, so I can come school the whole law firm on exactly what to do, and that's like a 3-hour class that I walk through a process, and a lot of it starts off with optimizing your profile. So I mentioned doing a unique headline. So start off with making that headline really unique. Do not make it your title, whatever you do. If someone wants to see your title, they'll go down to your experience section. It always lives down there. So your title should be intriguing, short and sweet, and don't make it sound too pompous or anything. Make it just exciting. Have someone lean in. Maybe ask a question. I finish off with, can I buy your Apple products? So people it's a good kind of call to action right there. The second thing people need to do is optimize their about section. You have about 25 to 40 words, depending on the word length of what they're going to see before they have to click see more. So that has to be really intriguing, that someone wants to learn more about you. Make sure it's in the first person, and leave someone kind of with a story. Tell them a story about who you are, and then finish with a call to action. Like a website or something you want them to visit. And the websites, you can't actually have a hard link in there, but someone can copy and paste it if it's easy enough. So I recommend doing that. And after you have your profile optimized, it's really about just creating the content and getting it out there, and also connecting with the right influencers, because if you have the right influencers engaging with you, that's going to really drive your content up. So you have to engage with them a ton to get their attention, because they're very busy. I'll be at 31,000 followers by tomorrow, And why that seems like a lot, these mega influencers have over 500,000, and just a like from one of them could bring 10, 20 people to your post immediately. So I spent a very long time building up my friendships with these influencers, and I really can call them friends now. And I'm not begging for them to come like my content. It's really just organically. I'm not in any pods or anything like that. So just by creating the friendships and engaging with them, they'll ultimately come back and hop on your content. So that's definitely one of the best things to do to get noticed.
Yeah, and I don't even want to talk about pods. It's probably an advanced tactic that we don't need to have people thinking about. But I like and maybe even like kind of swarmy advanced tactic. But I get I get why people do it. But when
it's
you
good short term.
when you had like focus on these influencers, right? See, now everybody's going to go Google what is a pod on LinkedIn. So, but when you had these influencers, like how did you identify these are the influencers I need for my particular audience? And again, like I'm trying to think of like how we could kind of give a tip for a law firm owner.
I would say go search for the hashtags that are relevant for you. Like hashtag legal is probably one of the bigger ones off the top of my head.
Their area, their local business, right?
Really
like if you had a law firm in Cincinnati, you probably want to know what's going on in Cincinnati, like Cincinnati influencers in general. I think like if you practice in certain areas, like what are some things related to that?
Yeah, if you're focused on a key market, definitely hitting up those markets. So if you search for those hashtags that are important to you, you can kind of go through the content on there and see what's popping up at the top. And those are people that I would say would probably have higher followers and be more relevant. And just start jumping on their posts. You don't connect with them right away. I would say that you need to comment on at least 4 of their posts with something very insightful. And if you're doing that, and then you send them a connection request, they're much more likely to accept it. Always make it personalized. If I wake up in the morning and I have 20 some connection requests and there's one personalized one, that's the person I'm actually going to engage back with afterwards and thank them for the connection and maybe see what they do. But if you don't run a personalized message, the chance of clicking on your profile is pretty slim to none.
So I've been saying that for years, and I'm glad you just said that because it's the idea of people who just hit connect, and it's like like who are you, and just at least give me a context of you could even just say
anything.
Like remember
I like your content. Okay, great.
Yeah, just something. But I will say like that's one thing that always bugged me about the LinkedIn mobile app is it kind of like almost makes it an extra step for you to remember to do that because you'll hit something and all of a sudden it just shoots it off. You're like, wait, I wanted to put a comment.
You can't backtrack.
So
sometimes depending on how you did it on mobile or desktop, you can go back and then click personalized. Now if you click connect, it prompts you, do you want to add a note? At least on desktop. I do a lot of my stuff on desktop.
Yeah, desktop certainly does. Mobile, I think it's depending on where you're at. It just kind of like sends a connect. I'm like, wait, So let's maybe it's like one of my last questions here on LinkedIn, but it kind of ties back to the earlier stuff we talked about around branding, company, right? Your company sell your Mac brand and your personal brand, and you have both. I mean, both exist on LinkedIn, right? So do you have either any tips on? And I'm going to kind of ask this question and try not to be leading about it, right? Is there a way to kind of say, here's how you can kind of separate those worlds, because that's a good thing, or should a lawyer, lean in a little bit and say, well, who I am as a lawyer is probably really tied to my law firm, and maybe I should, make that connection a little bit more, as I think your personal brand and company brand have a strong link. And they're two separate things, but I feel like they have a strong link. And I'm not sure, for a lawyer, and I think a lot of people are uncomfortable with that, right? Oh, I don't want people to know my personal from my company, and I just want everything to be about my company. But no, I mean, your company's got a really hard time maximizing LinkedIn, right?
I mean, you have to be personable on LinkedIn. I mean, people want to work with humans. So if you're the owner or a partner in the law firm, I think it could make a lot of sense to have them more closely related. But I know lawyers also bounce around a lot. So if you're not that tied in, I won't want to push that integration quite as much. And I think a lot of the content that's going to do well is around things that people might not think that they would normally share. If you have more of the mindset you just want to post something engaging, people might be like, oh, that's only for Facebook. And that's not the case. My content of my family does incredibly well on LinkedIn. It's because not enough people are doing it. It's more unique, and I have cute kids. So if these lawyers show themselves as humans, more people will want to work with them inherently, and that will lead them to then look at their profile and find that law firm that they're working at. So it's not saying never make a post about legal or don't mention your company, but you have to be careful because a lot of your audience isn't interested in your company, and you need to grow your audience before you push your brand too much. So I would say if you are tagging stuff about the company, making sure the company is also engaging back on your content. If you tag them in your post and they don't engage, it'll really hurt the post reach. If you don't think they're going to engage with it, I would only mention, I'd only would tag the law firm in the comments, because tagging in the comments does not hurt the engagement levels at all. And I know a lot of law firms are also using like Hootsuite and other programs to automate their posts.
Yeah.
And you have to be careful because there's no engagement before or after when you're throwing up these automated posts typically, or if all the lawyers are all sharing the exact same content, it's just not going to do as well because LinkedIn knows it's not really a human kind of driving that. So I recommend that the people post really organic content from their own profile, and then they can tie it back in, kind of soft sell perhaps to their law firm, stuff like that.
And I, we talk about that all the time with clients and stuff, is that people hire people, they don't hire a law firm, right? So it's the more even on your website, right? The more you can explain who you are as a person, that's what they want to hire. They want to trust that you're somebody,
they trust real people.
Yeah, and it's a legal issue, right? It's usually, most people are going to a lawyer once or twice in their life, and it's usually not a good reason, right? And so, building that trust and that comfort. So I could see posting personal things about, if you're a local law firm and think about it, we're in Cincinnati, right? So think about like a suburb of Cincinnati. There's a local law firm. Everybody, there's a decent amount of respect for that firm as part of a staple in that community. Talk about the new restaurant opening that you went to with your family. Talk about the new thing happening, right? Yeah, keep it around the community. Like, then you're tying in and you're engaging with people that are going to be your prospective client, right? So thinking that way of the personality, right?
Kind of that stronger together. It's, if you're sharing and supporting others and highlighting them, it brings such positive attention back to you. And you see people on LinkedIn, post about, someone else to call, I'll shine the light on this person, or highlight, shout out this person. And those posts do really well. And it's because it's very positive. So sharing positive messages in general about community is a great way to go.
Yeah, and local business owners tend, have a strong referral network amongst themselves. So that's another thing, right? So tagging your referral partners, knowing that they're going to make a nice comment back on that, or it's kind of like you're baiting the engagement with somebody you trust, right?
Exactly.
That's awesome.
If you are tagging people on LinkedIn, I highly recommend you send them a personal message to engage with the content, because there's just so many notifications that can just get lost. So someone might have the best of intentions and just might miss it, or if they're out busy for the day. So if I was tagging you in a post about this talk, I would just send you a text message. Hey, Mark, I just posted about you and tagged you. Check it out. Just make it easy for people to engage with your content.
Awesome. And I expect I'll get that text message here in a few weeks, right? So awesome. Well, I don't have any more questions specifically on LinkedIn and with tying it to the law firms. But any parting thoughts or messages? I didn't even know you had this class. When did that start? That's pretty cool.
Only in the last 2 months, I became a certified Vistage speaker. So I'm going around all these different CEO groups and speaking to them. And I've done 6 talks so far. And I'm branching out to do company talks as well. And I also launched a LinkedIn coaching business. So that's been taken off in the last month. So I have a few different individual coaching clients right now. And that's something great that I'd love to offer, all the lawyers and partners listening to this, is I can work with you guys on a weekly basis to develop your strategy and really optimize your profile and your content. After a few months of that, you'll probably be off to the races, and you'll have a much better chance of getting better engagement. So I'm seeing a lot of ROI in the work that I've done, and I think I want to help more people do that because I know I can, and I'm very passionate about it. And I welcome people to reach out and either sign up for a masterclass or some coaching.
Yeah, and I love when people come from other markets and kind of like say, are able to help out. Like, oftentimes my best ideas will come from somebody who's not a marketing agency, right? It's like, oh, that was really fascinating, and because it's like
Exactly. Be open to learning.
yeah, and like steal from other industries, right? Like somebody may think of something totally different because it's their industry, and then you're like, oh, that'll work in my industry. So I think it's a really interesting idea. Is it the best way to find you still the just LinkedIn in Brian the Mac Man?
LinkedIn's great. They want to email me. It's brian@sellyourmac.com, BRIAN.
Awesome.
So
We'll mention
easy to reach
we'll
me
mention that in
there.
the show notes then. So if people have any questions on LinkedIn and want to follow up with you on maybe a more personal relationship of coaching or something, they can reach out to you.
I'd love to help. And if it's just say, hey, take a look at my profile. What do you think? I'll offer you some great advice there too.
Awesome. And then you'll ask them to engage on your post.
I get a lot of those requests every day. It's kind of out of control.
That's awesome.
It's fun though. I like LinkedIn. Everyone here can win.
Well, Brian the Mac Man, I have to say, thanks for coming on. It is just a lot of fun to kind of like bring people in from other industries to share what's working really well for them in growing their business. I mean, you are super successful. Your business, it is like on fire. I mean, I know you're one of the largest and best at what you guys do. But the fact that you've taken that, leveraged your personal brand now into growing something, I mean, that's something like lawyers and law firm owners could really learn from. So appreciate you being here today, man.
Love it. Thanks for having me on, Mark the Lawman.
Thanks, Brian.
Cheers.
Hey, what's up? I'm Josh. Thanks so much for joining us. If you feel like you learned something today, think of how beneficial it would be to chat with myself or another one of our marketing consultants one-on-one. Go ahead and visit our website to schedule your free consultation. It only takes a minute.